Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is November 1st. It's the start of a new month, which means that I am sitting down at my computer and I am going to do my budget. And as of 2 months ago, I have been filming a video every single month about my budget. This video slash series on my channel has honestly brought me a lot of joy. I get very happy when I sit down to film this, and I honestly really enjoy putting it out there for you. So I'm very excited to be filming November's, and every time I film this, I'm like, how am I doing the next month's video? What? But yeah, we're in a new month, so it's time to budget. If you're new here, what I like to do every single month is sit down. I have a manual budget. I will have the template down below for you if you'd like to download it. It's totally free. I have a template that I use and I go through every single transaction on my personal card, on my business card, PayPal, Venmo, everything. But before I do that, I want to make some predictions. I do not share every single expense because I personally don't feel comfortable sharing every single expense, but I give numbers for big expenses, kind of give you a holistic view of my finances, and I'll let you know certain categories and certain percentages here and there too. Don't like that I am not sharing every single number. I am sorry, this is not the video for you, but I still hope that this encourages you to budget. I also wanted a lot of my other expenses to go down. I just wanted to cut my entire budget and my entire monthly spending by like 30%, I believe is what I said. So I'm excited to see if I did that. I also want to introduce a little new segment here where I actually look at my income and tell you if it went up or down. Being self-employed, I do have a different income every single month. I don't have a steady paycheck. I get paid every single month, but every single month it is a different amount. So I'm curious to see if it goes like way up or way down, or like how that looks at the end of the month. Comment below what other things that you want in these budgeting videos and budget along with me. I did want to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. Speaking of income, Squarespace has been a sponsor of mine for quite some time, and it is literally because I am obsessed with them. If you don't know, Squarespace is the easiest online website builder. I have used Squarespace for every single website that I have created recently, and I've used other website builders in the past, and none of them even come close to the capability that Squarespace has, the customization that Squarespace has, and also just the beauty, the modern templates, the really cool themes, the sleekness of Squarespace. Like, you don't have to be a designer, you don't need to know how to code to build a website that really draws attention and catches people's eye, and that is so important if you have a business, a portfolio, whatever it is. You want to stand out, but you don't want to spend time or money standing out, so that's why you need Squarespace. It has built-in analytics, it has customer support, it has whatever you need. So if you want to try Squarespace, you can use my code Natalie Barbu or go to squarespace.com/Natalie Barbu for 10% off your entire purchase. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video, but I'm going to take a second, I'm going to do my budget, and then I'm going to come back in like 30 to 45 minutes. I'm also going to drink my coffee, even though it's 5:30. Okay, 1 hour later, still not fully done with my coffee. I'm not very proud of myself. I really want next month to be better, and I hate it because I look at my budget and I'm like, oh, gonna get better, this, and this, and then I just spend the money somewhere else. It's not the issue that I don't have the money I'm spending, it's that I do not like spending this much money. I think it is not wise. I do not want lifestyle creep to creep in, and I completely think that it has already. If you don't know what lifestyle creep is, it's that when you start making more money, you start spending more money, and your lifestyle gets a little bit more expensive. And I definitely feel that that has happened with me. So I really want to be intentional going into the following months to be cautious about my spending habits, not spend as much, and just go into it thinking that I don't need to spend that money. And I feel like I always do really great the first half of the month because like I have it in my head, don't spend money, don't spend money, don't spend money. And then the second half of the month, it's like, oh, I didn't really spend that much money this month. I'm gonna go ahead and spend it. So I'm gonna start including income percentages, how much more I made from the last month or how much less that I made from the last month. And I never view making less money month over month as like necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's not a consistent pattern. If it starts becoming consistent, then I view it as an issue. But as of now, I have been on an upward trajectory, meaning that I'm still going to make more money this year than I did last year. So year over year, I would like to make more, but if the months fluctuate, I don't really care. I actually made 36% more than I did last month, which is great. So how did that reflect in spending percentages? I had actually spent 9% less this month than I did last month. 9% isn't that big of a number. But yeah, I did spend 9% less than last month. So that is also a good thing that I did spend less, but I think my goal was to spend 30% less, and I definitely did not meet that. So let's just break this down. My most expensive expense every single month has been my mortgage. I did have to pay my mortgage at the beginning of the month, but I actually got it prorated back to me because my house had sold. So I actually got paid for my house. So this month, actually, I made a lot more than the 36%, but I'm just accounting that as my income, not as my investments. I got all the money from the house, which has been really nice. And I think that's also why this month I was like in the head that I could spend more, because I had just gotten wired the money that I made from my house selling. And so I was like, cool, I can spend money. And that is just not the way to think. Another expense of mine is my Wi-Fi. I just recently increased my Wi-Fi, so I have to pay $60 a month on my Wi-Fi. It actually used to be free. The apartment that I live in had paid for like the very, very basic version of your Wi-Fi, but because I had upgraded, I'm now paying $60 instead of it being free. But it's literally been such a lifesaver, especially with working, like doing video calls, uploading YouTube videos. Like, I needed the fastest Wi-Fi, and it's made such a difference. I'm like, do I say this? Do I say this? Do I say my restaurant budget? I literally said last video, I'm gonna decrease my budget to $300. Last month, I spent $500 on my restaurant bill, and I was appalled. I was like, it's way too high. This month, I'm gonna justify it, but there's nothing to justify. This month, I spent $800 on my restaurant bill. What? I'm gonna justify it, but I know that it's not justifiable. So this is what happened. I had two big ticket items, which if I didn't have those two, it would have put me back to even like less than last month. I spent $140 on a brunch with me, Keon, and Kayla. Kayla works for me at Rella, so it was a business expense. It was like, I got it, it's on me. Very expensive brunch place, incredibly overpriced, would not recommend and would not go back, but I did it. I spent that money there. I spent like $145 on a brunch for 3 people. Anyways, Keon's birthday was this month, and I kind of like to go all out for birthdays, so we went to Makoto, which is an amazing Japanese restaurant here in Miami. We got some sake, we got some cocktails, we got appetizers, we got sushi, we got some wagyu, we got some dessert, like we got it all. And so I spent $245 on that dinner for 2 people. So those were the big ticket items. The rest of them were just my normal spending, which I would like to decrease, but that is why I spent $800 on restaurants this month, and I'm not proud of that at all. Oof, that's so bad. That is so bad. I also spent $224 on groceries, so my grocery bill was so much higher than it was the previous month. Last month, my grocery bill was $147, and this month it was $224. I also spent $98 on coffee this month, which is a lot because last month I had only spent $43 on coffee, and this month I spent $60 on alcohol compared to $34 last month of spending it on alcohol. So overall, my food bill was $11.85, and compared to last month's, which was $732. So I spent a lot more this month on food for some reason. I don't know why. I blamed it on the birthdays and stuff, but like, that's not really it. It's on me. Definitely gonna decrease that. I don't know if this stuff motivates you, but like when I view this and I'm like, what the heck? Like, I hope that it's motivating you to do the same thing and be like super critical with your budget. Now let's go to personal care. I spent a lot of money on my health this month. So I actually had to take some labs. So I do pay health insurance. I pay $224 for health insurance. Of course, not everything is covered by health insurance. You know, you have to spend so much money before even like insurance starts to cover things. So it's just a whole mess. I have felt like I have had just like health issues lately. Like I've not anything like that serious, but one, my face has been breaking out like crazy. Like if you see here, acne. So I think that it is something internal. I am using such good products. I'm using products that I had used when I wasn't breaking out, and like they never made me break out, and now they're making me break out. But I've come to the conclusion that I want to get off birth control. I've been on birth control for 10 years now. I'm getting off of it, but how this has to do with my budget. The men on here are probably like, get to the point, come on. I know. I got $800 worth of labs done on me to test my hormones, my vitamin levels, and also a food allergy test because I just get bloated a lot. So I was just like, just throw it in there. So yeah, I spent $800 on lab work. But yeah, I wanted to test my hormones before getting off birth control and then after getting off birth control and seeing what that's like. Fast forward, skip, I know. As for health and wellness, I did recently join a gym, so I am now spending around $80 a month on my gym membership. It's a very expensive gym membership, but it is the nicest gym near where I am. I joined Equinox and I really like it, and it's something that I'm like, I know I'm gonna go. I like to go all the time. It's something that I can pay for in my budget, and I'm just gonna do it. So that is why I spent $180 on my gym membership, and that will be a consistent payment from now on. So I'll let you know if I think it's worth it, but so far, so good. I really have been enjoying it. This month on parking, I had spent $50 compared to last month, which I spent $46.47. So I spent about the same amount on parking every month. I feel like $50 a month is pretty standard for me here in Miami. I've definitely spent more like when I've been going out and stuff a lot more, but for the most part, I don't pay for parking during the week. It's like only on the weekends. So I don't think 50 bucks is like too bad. I don't have to pay for gas for my car because I do have an electric car, but I do have to pay for car insurance. So I pay $107 for car insurance every month, and then $517 because I'm leasing my car. Another thing that I had spent a ton of money on this month is travel. Okay, so last month I had spent $442, and this month I had spent $547 on travel. I travel quite a bit. I go back and forth to North Carolina a lot. I take just like random trips whenever I can, and so travel is a huge expense for me. I didn't think it was this much because every month I'm like, oh, it's just one plane ticket. Like, it's not like I do it all the time, but then every month I do it. So I really do it all the time. Thankfully, I do have a credit card that rewards me on traveling, and I have so many miles. So for the next few months, I'm actually going to try to book all my flights with miles and not spend any actual money, and I'm gonna see how that works because I always just like pay for my flight and then like accumulate miles. But what's the point of accumulating them if I'm not gonna use them? So from now on, I'm just going to use my miles to book my flights. But yeah, I spent $547 on flights, Wi-Fi, and food at the airport. I spent $132 this month on Lyft/Uber, which is just way too much for me. Compared to last month, I had spent, how much? $175. Like, I don't really know why I'm spending that much. I think it has to do with travel. I should kind of like loop it in because it's like $30 to $40 every single time I Uber to and from the airport. So if I'm not parking at the airport, I Uber. And so that just adds on like $60 to $80 per trip. And if I do like 2 trips a month, it kind of makes sense because I never Uber in Miami. Like, I literally do not Uber here. I drive everywhere unless I'm like going out with friends, which is super rare. So yeah, that budget is like super high. Last month, I said that I was going to spend way less money on clothes. I was like, I don't want to go shopping this month. I spent way too much money on clothes because last month I had spent $628 on clothes. This month, I spent $300 on clothes. I know it's still a lot, and I wish that I had waited because I had literally bought 2 sets from Set Active like 2 days ago. So it was like October 30th. I was like, I should have bought this November 1st so I could say that I only spent like $100 on clothes this month, but that just wouldn't be true. So I did spend $300 on clothes this month, but at least I cut that. At least I cut it in half. I am still paying off my season tickets for the Miami Heat, which is about $1,500 for 4 months. I'm selling tickets to any games that I cannot go to, and I'm hoping to at least like break even on the ticket sales. So if any of you ever want to go to a Miami Heat game and get like pretty good seats, just DM me and ask me if I'm selling my tickets because I might be selling them and then I can give them to you. Those were my big ticket categories. I actually didn't go through like specific transactions besides, you know, like my lab work, my gym, stuff like that, because I honestly didn't have that many like huge transactions besides like my health stuff. So this month I would give myself a rating of like a C-. I definitely need to get better, so I will definitely try to get better next month. I know I say that all the time, but I promise it'll happen. I used to spend like half of what I do now, so I'm really hoping that I can get back to that where I'm not spending a lot of money. I'm gonna kind of go through, see what I can cancel, see what I can like not spend my money on, and I'm also going to try to just dial it back. I don't need to go to the most expensive restaurants. I don't need to do the coolest things. I don't need to buy like fancy drinks every time I go out. So I'm really going to try to dial it back and, you know, kind of make my lifestyle creep go away because I've definitely sensed it creeping up, and that's just not something I want to do. Next month, my goal is to still spend that 30% less. I'm going to keep making that my goal until it actually is my reality. But anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys find these interesting at all, please let me know. If you guys use them for your own personal budget inspo, also let me know. I'd love to hear kind of like your thoughts on the way that you budget. And I also love watching videos of you using my template. So if you guys download my template and make a video, definitely be sure to credit me for the template. But I really, really love watching them from you. So thank you so much for using them and for showing it off. But anyways, I'll see you guys next month. It's gonna come way sooner than you think. Hopefully November is a lot better of a month for me. And I haven't booked my trip home yet for Thanksgiving, so I'm just gonna book it with miles. So hopefully that travel bill is only like the food and stuff that I buy at the airport. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Thank you.